strange news articles that you might have missed in the news. Today, we will be covering everything pertaining to UFOs, such as the new Jellyfish video information, strange sightings over military bases, the hidden UFO program run by the government, UFO disclosure, and I'm saving my favorite for last. Let's get straight into it. Starting off with our first one, being this jellyfish still, and there's a lot of hubbub around this. Jeremy Corbell originally released this jellyfish-like picture back in January of 2024, and just now, in October, we're supposedly getting more information, but it's a little bit sketchy. Recent developments include alleged new HD footage from Afghanistan shared by an anonymous source known as Ghost, revealing the object's purported shape-shifting capabilities from an orb to a tentacled-like form. This is crazy. It's been nicknamed the Afghanistan Reaper. In the supposed ongoing investigation, the craft exhibited unusual thermal properties and maneuverability, including water submersion. Speculations about its purpose range from it being a drop ship for rapid deployment of unknown beings to theories about it carrying bodies. I mean, look at these images right here. Are we seeing pareidolia take place right in front of our eyes? Or is there really something to these images? Does it look like bodies to you? Does this look like a face to you? It's kind of freaky. Now, people are gonna say, oh my gosh, do not believe everything that you read online, which I completely agree, but hear me out for this one. Simultaneously, the best thing a leaker can do is to publish it online and allow people to make up their own minds on what they think, because at the end of the day, we're talking about it, right? We're having this conversation right here, right now. We're thinking about all of the possibilities, and I think that is so important and so valuable as well. But even so, people are saying, is it AI generated? Has the content been manipulated? Is it legit? And I think one of the biggest questions that we might have to ask ourselves is this lending credibility to the original Jellyfish video that was released by Jeremy Corbell? Or is this new information just riding on the bandwagon of fame here? That's something that I think really needs to be considered, because it's interesting, genuinely, in the last week, how much strange UFO related news we've received, because you want to hear this next one. For 17 consecutive days in December of 2023, a swarm of unidentified aircraft flew over Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, baffling U.S. security officials. Why am I bringing this up now? This took place in December of 2023, but we're just now getting this information, and I need to really state this before we continue, and that is that Langley, Virginia is the headquarters for the CIA. Just remember that. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Let's continue with this article. U.S. Air Force General Mark Kelly witnessed these nightly occurrences, describing the, quote, drones, and I'm putting that in air quotes here because the remaining information that I'm going to provide to you doesn't really sound like drones, but make up your own mind. Let's move forward. Describing these drones as moving constellations in the sky. That is a very interesting description to place out there, because in today's world, we do not have to define these sightings as constellations. We did hundreds of years ago. One of the biggest ones took place in Japan, where the samurai generals were looking at these strange UFOs in the sky. They brought in an expert at the time, and they said, oh, it's just the stars swaying with the wind. We're kind of getting a similar analysis or description here in 2024. That's odd. The object flew at approximately 100 miles per hour at an altitude of 3,000 to 4,000 feet, with witnesses comparing the sound to a parade of lawnmowers. A lot of the times with UFO sightings, there isn't sound, but there are a handful of these strange sightings where it is emitting this odd noise. Let me state this. on average, your drones cannot go at 100 miles per hour, maybe anywhere from 30 to 60. But when we're dealing with military drones, it's a different ballgame, and you can't always find accurate information. But that's something that I'm placing out there for you just to know the foundation of information when it comes to drones. Despite having advanced tracking resources, this is crazy. The US military failed to intercept these mysterious objects. With the jets that we have today, you failed to intercept, quote, drones? The incident was reported to President Joe Biden, triggering 2 weeks of high-level meetings involving officials from the Pentagon, including its UFO office AARO, and the FBI. Where's the CIA in this? It's in their headquarters, right? It was kind of weird. The drone incursions had significant impact on the Langley Air Force Base operations. Nighttime training missions were canceled, and F-22 fighter jets were relocated to another base. U.S. officials confirmed that similar unidentified drone swarms were spotted near Edwards Air Force Base in recent months. And let me just mention here, I have a lot of mentions with this article, but they're all very important. The Edwards Air Force Base has had its fair share of UFO sightings and strange encounters. Food for thought on that one. While investigations led to the arrest of a Chinese national for unrelated drone activities near Navy vessels, the source of the Langley drone swarm remains, take a guess, unidentified. The incident has prompted calls from Congress for increased military authority to address such situations, as current U.S. law only permits shooting down drones over military bases if and only if they pose a direct threat. There's a lot going on in this article, and I just feel like, could they be drones in today's age? Possibly. But when you're dealing with all of these big brains, the FBI, the Pentagon, the UFO office, talking about these drone swarms back in December of 2023, it's odd. And it's odd that we're just getting this information now. And yet, it's not. Public announcement, if you want to win free merch, my Patreon members will be having a live get-together event in November, where we'll be playing UFO trivia games, sharing your experiences, and being surrounded by like-minded people. It went so well a few months ago that we're gonna be doing it again. And there's a bunch of perks to being a member, such as getting extra content, getting access to exclusive merch that I'm not selling but giving out to you, live events, and more. That link is in the description box below. A leaked report shared with the newsletter public alleges the existence of a secret program called the Immaculate Constellation, purported used by American military and intelligence officials to detect and quarantine UFO materials without congressional oversight. This information has taken the media by storm. Michael has been collecting this information for a decent period of time, speaking to what he classifies as credible whistleblowers, and he's mentioned in his interviews that this is a very, very big deal. And it seems like other people are stating there is something to this. But let's continue with this article. The program, described as an unacknowledged special access program containing high-quality photographs, videos, first-hand accounts, and electronic sensor evidence of UFOs, include mentions of alien reproduction vehicles. The report claims officials have a high level of confidence in the data gathered, which includes an incident where these orb-type UFOs allegedly swarmed an F-22 fighter jet, maintaining close proximity despite evasive maneuvers. We've heard that too many times, and funny enough, we actually heard it in the last article, didn't we? If you've been listening, you would have caught that little detail. But we've heard this so many times before. The DoD has denied the existence of the Immaculate Constellation, stating that there is, quote, no record present or historical of any type of special access program. Now, this denial comes into context of a congressionally mandated Pentagon report published in March, which found no evidence of the government possessing, covering up, or reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. And that is the report that was released by Arrow that spoke about Kona Blue. If you don't know about that, you can find that right here on this channel and a deeper analysis on that report as well. Because out of all the reports that we've gotten from Arrow, from the UAPTF and the AOI MSG, that one was the most information rich per se, but in many respects still kind of another eye roller here. It is so easy for the DoD to say, nope, nothing to see here. We don't know what you're talking about. Imagine if they said yes. Yes, of course we have the Immaculate Constellation program. Do you want the information on it? That would be the day that pigs legitimately fly in the air. That would never happen because they would just dig a hole deeper for themselves and stating, yeah, we've been lying to you this entire time and keep believing us. They're in a tough spot. But who can we believe anymore? Seriously. Who has the goods? Who has the information? And you know what? We've heard for years, in a month, in a year, in 12 years, we're gonna get some smoking gun evidence of UFOs and aliens. But we're still sitting here. Aren't we? And we're hearing it again. But does this one hold merit? Simon Holland, a filmmaker with experience in BBC and NASA-funded documentaries, claims that the Oxford-backed Breakthrough Listen project has identified evidence of non-human intelligence within our own galaxy. The signal in question, a 5-hour burst of radio waves detected on April 29th, 2019, appeared to originate from the vicinity of Proxima Centauri, a star 4.2 light years from Earth, known as the BLC-1, has narrow spectrum electromagnetic signal, was initially thought to be an Earth-based interference, but Holland's source, reportedly a senior EU radio telescope administrator, suggests that the project is just now leaning towards confirming its extraterrestrial origin. So they got this 5-hour radio burst back in 2019. Here we are at the close to the end of 2024, and they're just now leaning toward this extraterrestrial possibility. Breakthrough Listen, and for those that don't know, Breakthrough Listen is a $100 million nonprofit research project led by Dr. Andrew Simeon at Oxford University, began in 2016 as part of the Yuri Milner's Breakthrough Initiatives. The project used Australia's Parker's radio telescope to detect the BLC-1, which exhibited characteristics consistent with hypothesized technosignatures. And while the team initially concluded in 2021 that the signal was likely a false positive, Holland claims that ongoing analysis may be changing this assessment. I must say that the timing is remarkable. Because in 2019, it was a different world. Yes, we were talking about UFOs. Yes, we had just received the New York Times article talking about ATIP. But we weren't fully on the bandwagon with UFOs, with receiving UFO reports from the government, and just having this true enthusiastic appeal to this topic. But now, it's on everyone's mind in many respects. So I feel like it's appropriate for them to talk about it now, and yet it's disappointing that they've been sitting on this data for such a long period of time, but it wasn't really being consistent with the narrative at the time. Holland suggests that Breakthrough Listen is a race against China's 500-meter aperture spherical telescope, also known as FAST, program to publish these findings, with both teams reportedly expecting to announce confirmed signals from an alien civilization soon. However, at the latest public statement back in October of 2021, Breakthrough Listen had not officially changed its position on the BLC-1's origin. But it's kind of interesting. Why? There's always been this speculation that Proxima Centauri has something strange attached to it. Are there aliens living there? Possibly. It's so close to Earth. It's only 4.2 light years away, which in terms of our galaxy and space and how far things are, that's like a 5-minute walk to the grocery store or something. So are we going to be getting the goods soon? Or do we have to wait another 8 to 10 years when the Europa Clipper mission finally gets to its destination? Oh, and if you didn't know, NASA's Europa Clipper mission spacecraft successfully launched today at 12:06 p.m. EST from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida aboard a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket, the largest spacecraft NASA has ever built for a planetary mission, measuring 100 feet or about 30.5 meters tip to tip with its solar array extended, began its 1.8 billion mile journey, or 2.9 billion kilometers, to Jupiter's icy moon Europa. And the launch originally scheduled for October 10th, but it was delayed due to Hurricane Milton. And this marks the beginning of a mission designed to search for potential ingredients of life. I am so excited about this. I really, really am, for a handful of different reasons. See what I did there? Handful. Sorry. But let's talk a little bit more about this Clipper mission before I kind of tell you why this might have to be one of my favorite articles. The Clipper mission, set to arrive at Jupiter in April of 2030, will conduct 49 science-focused flybys of Europa, coming as close as 16 miles or 25 kilometers to the moon's surface. And these flybys will help scientists investigate Europa's potential habitability, focusing on 3 main objectives: determining the thickness of the moon's icy shell and its interaction with the subsurface ocean, investigating its composition, and characterizing its geology. And while not a life-detecting mission, so they say, Europa Clipper aims to confirm whether Europa harbors the necessary conditions for life, like water, chemistry, and energy. And the spacecraft carries 9 science instruments and a gravity science investigation designed to study the moon's suspected global subsurface ocean, which may contain twice as much liquid as all of the Earth's oceans combined. The mission represents a significant step in understanding the astrobiological potential for habitable worlds beyond Earth. So this is super exciting for a handful of reasons, but I'm going to lay down to you the biggest one. And that is, for the longest time, we've been saying there must be an ocean right below Europa's icy surface, right? And we're reading that in that article here. But they're stating, there might be life. If you ever went to school, or just walked near to a water plant, everywhere it says water equals life. And life always finds a way to live in practically anything. There was a study shown that there's just this one type of fly that can actually lay eggs in tar. And that's how they flourish. In tar. That's insane. But it's possible. If we're able to get our equipment on Europa, drill into those 10 to 15 miles of ice, I genuinely think, without a doubt, they will find space dolphins, space whales, space jellies, and all these different things. And it's going to be so exciting. It's going to be so remarkable. And yet somehow, in some way, humans will find a way to make it into a tourist attraction, which I would go to. If I were to be honest here, I would. But it's very, very exciting because it just displays to ourselves and to the world that there really is something beyond our planet Earth. And once we get this information, it's solidified, we're able to collect all that data. I don't think we'll be having these conversations anymore of what if? Did you hear about that sighting? Is it alleged? Is it real? You see what I'm saying here? I think it's going to make a very big difference to the conversation as a whole when it comes to the UFO phenomenon. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button right down below and subscribe if you haven't already, as I do several shows right here every single week. And this week is going to be jam-packed with some very interesting videos that you do not want to miss. So hit that notification bell so that you get notified when we go live. Also, I do write articles for all the shows right here, and you can find that link in the description box below. That is it for today. I will see you next time. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies. If you enjoy the strange and the mysterious, UFOs, the paranormal, and cryptids, this channel is for you. So make sure to subscribe, as I do 3 videos right here every single week, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any of the bonus content I post right here.